There we go. All right. Welcome to Hall Yeah Comics. My name is Nate, and I have issues, and today's issue is my special guest. This is Martin, known as the Aussie comic book collector on YouTube. And we worked out the math, and we were able to get together at a time that we were both going to be awake, even though we're on opposite sides of the planet. So, hi, Martin.
Hi Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I really appreciate you doing this. Go ahead. For me, it's Friday, 4:30 in the afternoon, and for you?
For me, it's Saturday morning at 6:35 a.m.
And it's very hot here today where I am. And for you?
It's very cold. I've got layers on here. This storage unit does not retain too much heat, so it gets very cold. So
Well,
it's nice.
yeah, I appreciate you, adversing the climate and the conditions and the time and all of that. You and I chatted a little bit just before we got started here recording. I've been watching you for about a year, ever since I saw Lunch Money Comics shout you out.
Yep.
And I just, I really like your format. I like, you talk about some books rather quickly, but you share things about them that you like, and you
Yeah.
seem to have a very eclectic collection.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I've been collecting, um, many years. I've got 25,000 books,
Oh,
and I've
wow.
never really sold anything. And I've only been really doing it for just over a year because I post one video a day. And talking about Lunch Money Comics, I have something here that he sold to me. So
Oh,
um,
that's awesome.
that's how I'm going to end the video.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. I'm gonna link your channel obviously below, but like
Thank
you
you.
said, you've been doing this about a year. Do you want to say anything about your channel?
Yeah. So my intro, I do the same intro all the time. I show off four books from random, and I end on a key issue. And I also like to show off books that don't get a lot of attention on other channels. Just random books that I've found, like the cover might interest me, or there's something in there I might want to talk about that might not be a key issue, but there's something fun about the issue. And I also want to relay that comics are meant to be enjoyed. They're meant to be fun. You're meant to escape from your everyday life and just enjoy the book.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's the point of my channel. So yeah,
Well, I think it comes through when you present. My son came up and said hi to you just a
yeah,
little bit ago. And my whole family does watch whenever, when it's YouTube time at the end of the day, and I'm going through and I see you post almost a video. Seems like you post a video every day, right? Monday through
every day.
Friday.
Yep.
And yeah, so when I watch your video, my family's been watching it too. So when I said I was going to do a comic book hangout with Martin, they were like, "No way!" So this is really cool for everybody here at the Thompson household. Um,
I probably watch my language then.
oh, it's okay. I do try. I don't try to be like rated G or anything. I try to be rated PG. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
some things drop, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I invited you here to be yourself, and this is different than a haul video or reading a comic. This is a hangout. This is a nerd out. It's okay for us
Yeah.
to be real.
Yeah.
So I know we both brought a lot of books. I picked some books that I thought were things that you might have some kind of interest in, because you and I both have, like I said, we have a lot of overlap in our interests.
Yeah.
So you are the guest. Why don't you start with a book? Show me something.
Okay, so I've got 30 books, and the first few are like sort of. Well, I'll just show you like this one.
Okay.
This is the first one. It's Sleepwalker issue 14, and I only just recently read this, and the reason why I'm showing it off, it's a key issue. It's the first appearance of Spectra, and I've
Okay.
never heard of Spectra before, and I didn't even realize it was her first appearance. And I'm showing off a whole lot of first appearances in this video, and I thought I'll just start with a small one. But then, just real quickly, I've got Deadpool issue 1, which I
Nice.
remember I bought off the shelf, and I bought it because it has Sasquatch in it. So I didn't really care about Deadpool. I just wanted Sasquatch.
That's awesome. So
and
you go ahead.
sorry, go. I know I was going to say I didn't buy the second issue because Sasquatch wasn't in it.
So I have a real affinity for CD list type characters, and I would almost put Sasquatch in that category, at
Yeah,
least B minus tier. So you're kind of in that same boat where I think we both appreciate characters, and like you said, books are supposed to be fun when you read them, and
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of risk taking in the C and D list characters that they can't take with Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. Not that
that's
I
where
don't
the fun.
enjoy those.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
So
gonna
what did you want to show off?
Okay, first one I'll show you is this is a random. So I just pulled some random. This is a random. This is Action Comics Weekly number 631. So this is from when the book was. It was a weekly book for a little while. I just
Yeah,
love the cover. I mean, I'm not
it's
the
really
biggest fan
nice.
of. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Phantom Stranger fan, but he looks great on here. I do like the DC Magic characters, and
Yeah,
this is a cool cover to me.
very
And
nice.
then another one, again, random. I've not read this. I haven't even broken the tape on it from when I bought it, but I loved it and I thought you would dig it. So this is
Ooh,
New Defenders, and that is a painted cover of Valkyrie. I mean, it's
that's really
awesome.
yeah, that is really really nice. Now,
And I mean, issue 130, and it was, I mean, I got it for $2, and I just love it.
admittedly, the New Defenders is a bit too weird for me. Like I'm
Mhm.
reading it and I don't really understand a lot of it. But yeah, some of the covers are just they're popping.
Yeah, they really are. I don't know, New Defenders almost ended up a lot of the characters seemed like old X characters or something.
Yeah.
Iceman was in there and Beast. Before you show any more books, I had just mentioned that was, that only cost me $2. And since you're in Australia, and that was something I wanted to ask you was, what is for me, I can go bargain bin diving and find books for $1. Do you have that luxury?
Yes, we have 25 comic book shops in Australia, and well, no, sorry, 24. One of them's just closed down. We had one in our in Canberra. It's shut down. So the ability to go bin diving is getting less and less. But certainly at conventions, there's $1, $2 bins, all the way, 5, 10. Yeah, but when it comes to conversion, well, like when you're buying a new book, it's like $8.50 Australian to buy a new book. So the conversion's pretty up there. Like it's
Wow.
yeah, it's a costly affair. But if you love it, yeah, you find ways to do it.
And you do still buy current
Yeah,
books that are coming out now?
yeah, yeah,
I do too. Not that many, honestly. But I feel like I want to support the hobby, so I continue to have it.
yeah. No, I've got one shop that I buy from in the city because I work in the city, um, and they're called All Star Comics. I've been shopping with them for 20 years, and I do buy a fair lot. Like I could really slow down, but in this
Yeah,
climate, I really feel like it's a local business. I want to support them, and I want to keep doing this hobby that I love. So I keep doing what I do. So
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. All right, man. Show me some more books.
yeah. Okay, so this one is the first appearance of Stiltman. It's Daredevil issue 8,
Now, I know that
and
cover. It's awesome.
I got this as I was the best man in my brother's wedding, and he got this for me as a gift for being his best man. And I remember it was a mail order, and I got issue 9, or sorry, the previous issue. Yeah, it was the previous issue where he was fighting Namor, and it was the first time he had the red costume, and I kind of cracked it with them, and I said, no, I ordered this one, not that one, and the previous issue, when the Black Panther sequel came out, that previous issue it skyrocketed in value,
Yeah,
and I had it for like half a second, but now I have Stiltman,
it's awesome.
and I'll do two at a time because I've got a
Okay,
fair
that
bit.
sounds good.
I've got Devil Dinosaur issue 1, just you know you kind of have to have it.
Yeah, what can you? It's awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
There's only 9 issues in the series, so I've got maybe 2 or 3 more to go to get the full set. But yeah, there we go. Devil Dinosaur issue 1.
Awesome. All right, so you are a run collector.
Yeah, when it's like 9 issues, yeah, and I can afford to
Yeah.
get yeah. But like Daredevil, I've got like 100 issues to go to get the first full volume of volume 1.
Yeah, I love to collect runs. I mean, I don't collect runs of everything, but
Yeah,
it, I don't know. It's fun to chase something, I think. All
yeah.
right. So speaking of something with a really long run that I'm trying to put together here, this is Firestorm issue 12. I just
Yep.
read this. So it says Howl on the front, and I was like, oh, they're doing a werewolf story, and it's not werewolf, it's were jackals.
Okay.
They're were hyenas. They're were hyenas. The villain is the hyena. And Firestorm has been bitten by a hyena, so he's turning into one, and his girlfriend's sister is a were hyena that's terrorizing this. It's a ridiculous issue. And I have zero context because I don't have the one before nor after, but this one
Yeah.
was a ton of fun to read. And then the second issue I'll show, I don't know if you know about this one or not. It's Walt Louise Simonson,
Yeah.
Wolverine Havoc Meltdown. Are
I've heard of
you
that. Yeah.
okay? So this one, I'll go ahead. This one for me, it's all about the art. It's an older book, but it's like the first painted book I can think of. I want to
Yeah.
see if I can find a year here. No, I don't see one, but I want to find a good picture for you of of Wolverine because they just draw him so crazy with all these his hair goes so well. Here's a great Havoc.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Sienkiewicz's,
Yeah.
New Mutant covers and things like that. But this was a 4-issue miniseries. Here we go. Here's the Wolverine.
Wow.
I mean, it's one of the most unique books I own as far as art goes, especially for this time period, because I feel like it was the late 80s or early 90s. Really
It,
cool.
it reminds me of Sam Keith when he was doing Marvel Comics Presents, and you had the wild hair.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do. They have that hair going so far out. Everything's really exaggerated, but the painting brings it there's a weight to it that's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's
So,
lovely.
yeah. Yeah, I do have all 4 issues. It's one that I reread every now and again.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
Okay. So I have Ghosts issue 1. And what I always talk about on my channel, that I'm a huge horror fan, especially horror anthologies. And I don't know how long this series went for, but I was over, like, I'm in Melbourne and I was over in Adelaide at a convention. I saw this on the wall and had to organize with the guy because I'd gone home. But yeah, picked this one up because it was a little bit costly. It's in nice condition, but I don't even think I've read it yet.
But that's the nice thing about horror anthologies. You can grab them anytime.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing I like about anthologies is that if there's 3 stories and you liked one but you hated 2, at least you liked one.
I 100% agree there.
And the next one is Savage She-Hulk issue 1, which I bought about 30 years ago for $10.
Wow.
Yeah, and I bought another copy for a mate of mine without asking him. I thought it'd be a nice surprise, and this was only like 2 years ago, and he said he already had a copy. So now I've got 2 copies of Savage She-Hulk issue 1.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Always good to have a reader. Okay, let's see. All right, this one was my phone's going crazy here. I apologize. I'm gonna silence that. A friend of mine gave me this. A friend and I were really into Star Trek. I collect a lot of the Star Trek DC runs, and this is a adaptation of Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. A lot of people hate this movie. I love it actually. So I thought it was really funny to have this, and I don't know, I just liked it. This is
It's a
where is
beautiful
she?
cover.
Yeah, the likenesses are not bad. The Vulcan underneath Spock is actually played by Kim Cattrall in the movie.
Okay.
And then the second, this is it's sort of a semi-key Dead Man
Oh,
issue
cool.
number 1.
Neil Adams.
Yeah, Neil Adams covers. This whole series had Neil Adams covers. And they're all gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. And I really like this one because Dead Man is standing over his own corpse.
I might have something that interests you later on.
Well, sweet.
If I have it.
I would almost guarantee that. Can I ask you another question before we show a couple more books?
Please. Yeah.
Because you are a comic book creator.
I am, yes.
So Go
So
for it.
go. No, you asked the question.
Well, I just want to know about the book. I mean, I know a little bit about the books you have, but I didn't know if you had, a website or anything, or just tell us about the books you made because I think it's really cool.
Well, I'll send you the link to our website. It's Own an Indie. It's not our website. We just promote on there. So my brother and I, we both write and draw these books, and we specialize in kids comics. So my brother, his name's Manuel, and he does a book called Spell Kitty about a magical kitten in London, and I do a book for boys called Fart Puppies, and it's just about farting puppies. But I also have a
Awesome.
superhero. I also have a
Awesome. It
superhero.
is. It's awesome.
Thank you. But yeah, I also have a superhero team called the Down Unders, and there's Aussie Battler, there's Wombat Man, there's Drop Bear Junior, which is just like uh, he's a half man, half koala, and he's got a big, thick handlebar mustache. It's just a lot of fun. I think what would a teenage Maarten want to see in a comic book, and if it tickles that 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 kind of if it tickles my brain, then I'm going to put it in.
Right. I love it,
But
man. Yeah, if you send me that link, I will totally put a link to that in the bottom of the description as well for anybody
thank
who
you,
wants to check it out, and that actually includes me. So,
thank you. But what I also do is I commission professional comic book artists to do the covers. So like Tom Derenick, there was a Brazilian artist called Aiko. He did a couple of books about 10 years ago for Marvel. Um, who else? Scott McDaniel.
oh wow, cool.
Yeah, he's done the cover for an upcoming book. So yeah, they're the only ones I can think of the top of my head. But yeah,
Those are pretty good ones, man.
thank you. Yeah.
All right.
But
Awesome.
yeah, I'll send you the link, and yeah, they're $10 each Australian, which I don't know what that converts to for the US. I think it's like
I don't know
$8.
either.
But yeah, anyhow, I have more books to show.
Let's see some books, dude.
Okay, so I have issue 411 of Batman, and it's in Mylar, so it's got the glare because I've got the ring light going. But this
Sure.
is the first appearance of the League of Assassins, I think. It's
Oh
either the first
wow.
appearance of the League of Assassins or it's Talia al Ghul. Um, I'm a little bit apprehensive of reading it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
blame you.
um, it's in very nice condition, but I only recently bought this because I've changed the way in which I'm buying my books this year. I'm not just buying them all over the place. I'm buying them from one particular seller, and yeah, I save up every week, and then I meet him say every month, every second month, and I just get these grails that I've kind of saved up for. And the next one is Spider Woman issue 1. I just wanted it. It was a good price. It was probably about $20, and yeah, snapped it up. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, goodbye, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really did bring keys to this party today,
Oh,
man.
they get a lot bigger.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go independent. You're an
Yep.
independent creator and I think also lover. This is one I don't know anything about. So I'll tell you why I know about or why I got it. So this is Reed Fleming,
Oh my
World's Tough.
God.
Okay, so you're happy with this? You like
Oh
this?
man. Oh yeah, I'd love this book.
Okay. So full disclosure, I've not read this. I just got this not too long ago. The reason
Yep.
I bought it was because I have a Flaming Carrot and Reed Fleming team up. So
Yep.
I
I've got that one too.
okay, I had
Yep.
never heard anything about Reed Fleming, but through the Flaming Carrot, which is one of my absolute biggest loves, I picked this up. So
Yep.
I am excited to have it, and I love that you love it. That's cool. I picked this. I was like, I bet he'll know about this.
Yeah, I
So what?
definitely yeah. Because I bought that same team up book and I thought, who is this guy? Like, this is such a weird concept.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. So when I saw that, it was only like $2. It was like in a it was just in a bin. Nobody wanted it, and I don't think it's worth much. I don't think it's rare,
No,
but it's rare in that I've never seen it or heard of it before,
it,
and I
it's
love to
worth
find books like that.
it's worth to you and I what it's
Yes,
worth. Yeah.
yes. All right. And then the next one you have to tell me about and tell me why, because I
Okay.
have it in my collection, but I don't have as many as you. So it's I almost there was like an issue not 8 or 9, I can't remember, that I saw at a flea market the other day, and I knew we were doing this. I almost grabbed it. But I was just I didn't, because I'm trying to be better about buying so many random books because I buy so many. But this is one I've had for a while. What is it that you love about Ravage 2099 so much?
I love the visuals. I love that he is a red-headed male with just huge muscles. And I mean, this came out, when was it? 92. Yeah, 92. So I was 12 years old, and it captured my attention, and it didn't let go. And I was reading it because I was reading the other 2099 issues. And what I loved about it was that you started with issue 1 and he looked like this, and then by the 8th issue he had flaming powers, and then he was a beast man, and then he just kept on mutating and altering. And so the end of the book, he was completely different, but the environmental aspect of the story remained the same. I just liked that concept, that no matter how much he changed, it was still the same.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like you said about I instantly got it when you said you were how old when it came out, because there's just a certain age where things hit us, and that's it, man. So for me, those 2 books are like Darkhawk,
yeah,
Nomad, Booster
yeah.
Gold, Blue Beetle. Those were the books that when I was a teenager, the characters hit me, and I just wanted to
And
stick with it.
also, um, the artwork, Paul Ryan's artwork. It was clean, it was action packed, and every page flowed. And I emailed Paul a few years before he died. I got a commission from him of Aquaman, and he was the nicest guy. Um, yeah,
That's super cool.
it's back at home, the commission, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's Aquaman, and yeah, just
Well,
loved it.
that's awesome. That's awesome that you got that. And you are right about his art. Like when I look at it, it's 90s, but it's not that hatches everywhere kind of 90s. For 90s
Yeah,
especially, it is very clean and very well done.
yeah.
All right, man. What
All
else did you bring?
right. Okay, so
Holy
Avengers
cow.
196. I should put this on my Instagram. Uh, what, Thursday?
Yeah.
And yeah, bought this from this guy that I'm buying from, and yeah, um, just I haven't read it yet. Again, I buy these keys, but I'm nervous about reading them, and it's in good condition, so I don't really. I'm not concerned about like holding it or anything, but it's one that I've wanted for a while, and I'm glad I've got it. And the next one, Giant Size Chillers, issue 1, the first appearance of Lilith. Um, Again, horror fan, especially Tomb of Dracula. Like, where is it? Tomb of Dracula
Yep.
#1 up there. Um, yeah, you get this one, so you kind of have to get this one too. And yeah, um, I don't know what else to say about it other than I'm just really glad to have this in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a cool book. That's a great cover. And you're right, it
yeah.
pairs really well with your Tomb of Dracula.
I mean, it could do with a bit of a cleaning, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep it like this.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
I don't know. It's okay that the thing is, like you said, you're afraid to read your Avengers because it's in such good shape. I like when I get a book that's a little janky because I'm not going to mess it up anymore by reading it.
yeah. So when you buy a book, does condition really affect you, or is a reader copy fine?
It, it's a yes and no. Like I don't want to buy if I'm going to buy a Silver Age book and it's really cheap. If it's $5 and it's an old beat up copy, okay. But if it's
Yeah,
a book that, is a big key and somebody's still trying to get 40, $50 for it, and oh, but it's a $200 book, I'm not gonna no. So it really depends on the book for me. Condition doesn't
yeah,
matter in that I mostly just want to read the story, but I just got a book not too long ago. It's an old 10-cent detective, and I
Yep.
can't even read it because if you open it up, like the cover is disintegrating. When you
Yeah.
open the cover, pieces of it fall off, and that one I feel, yeah, I wish I hadn't bought it because it's like now it's not even serving the purpose of letting me read it because I have to leave it in the bag or it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've got issues like that as well. So yeah, it's disappointing, but
but
yeah.
yeah, I do want to read the books more than I want to collect them. I'm not a flipper. I'm not, you know, I'm not that kind of, I'm not a condition snob by any stretch, but the price does have to be right for what it is too.
Yeah.
All right. Next one for me, I am like so into Silver Age DC right now. So this is
Ooh.
this is the revolt of the super pets. I mean, Superboy's getting kicked by Comet, Crypto's biting somebody on the ass, Beppo's in there, and Streaky
Yeah.
the super, they're all in there.
That's awesome.
I can't remember if Prody is in here or not, but I have really been into the Legion and Superboy, Supergirl, and it's just these Lois Lane and Jimmy. They're just a blast to read, and they are
Yeah.
books that I don't, you know, Marvel. You have a lot of Marvel keys, and I'm not a big Marvel collector, but Marvel is expensive.
Yeah.
People, you know, those books are expensive, and I find these books, even though they're, you know, they're old 12 centers and even the 10 centers, I find them for under $20 all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's another reason I've been liking collecting them is because they're not that bad on the pocket. But man, is that a great cover.
That's a
And
very cool
then
cover.
my second book is, and I've not read this, I picked this up at a show not too long ago. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles parodies.
Yeah, I've
And
got that one too. It's somewhere here.
okay. So yeah, I picked this one up just based on cover and parody alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that the four of them they had the first names of like 1980s action stars. So you had like Clint, you had Bruce.
Oh, in
Um,
here?
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, Bruce Lee and Clint Eastwood and yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're very cool issues. All
Awesome.
right, so the next one I have for you is Daredevil issue 2,
Whoa.
and I can't remember when I got this. I've had it for a long while, probably about 15 years now. And back at my old house, I had it framed and in my bedroom, so I'd sleep next to it every night. But I can never afford the first issue of Daredevil. It's beyond my reach. I'd really have to save up. I could almost buy a car with it,
Yeah.
with the amount that it's costing. So yeah, the next best thing was the second issue, and it's Wally Wood artwork. It's gorgeous. I've read it. It's a gorgeous book.
Yeah. That's a nice cover.
And actually, I think this is the second appearance of Electro, but I could be mistaken. I'm mistaken about a lot of things. You know, I do this channel, and I start talking, and I say something, and it's completely wrong.
Oh,
Um,
believe
yeah.
me. I know. I've cut a few things out of videos that were wrong. And then there were other things that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to leave it and let somebody call me out. And so far it hasn't happened. So, but it should.
I love it when people call me out. It shows that
The,
people are paying attention.
hey, engagement's engagement, right?
Yeah. Now this one I got during the week, um, Spectre issue 1, and I was up in Brisbane, so I don't know if you know geographically. Melbourne's down the bottom of Australia, and Brisbane's up near the top. It's near the equator, so it's a tropical place. Anyway, I was up there, and the seller said, "Oh, look, it's $50 because someone has borrowed out the eyes and drawn on
Oh,
the
yeah. Yep.
logo." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, cool." You know, I was like, "I'm interested," and it was at a convention. And then I completely forgot about it. And then I was buying some random books, and the guy said, "I remember you. You were interested in Spectre. Do you still want it?" So I was like, "Chuck it on the pile. Let's go." And it arrived during the week, and so I'm very happy because even with the borrow, it still looks really nice.
Yeah. I mean, if you hadn't mentioned that, I don't know that I would have noticed. So it still looks really good.
Yeah. Um, and I know I'm flexing a little bit here,
Go
but
for it.
yeah, just call me out if I'm
No,
going a bit too hard.
no, bro. I love it, man. I mean, you don't flex on your channel, so feel free to bring it here.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is I gotta reach down to the floor here. Be right back.
Yep.
All right. So this is, sorry to move some stuff. It's not a comic, but it's something you and I both love. It is The Simpsons. And this, I gotta back up here.
Oh, cool.
This is the omnibus, volume 1 of the Treehouse of Horror. And so it's a pretty thick book. And
Wow.
it's in a slipcase.
Is that new?
So it's newish. Yeah, I think I got this about a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I own so much of this already in trade paperbacks. I think they're like these big oversized trade paperbacks of the Treehouse of Horrors.
Yep.
And so I think I have most of this material already, but this, I don't know, this was just too cool for me to pass up. Dude, this glows in the dark. So all the eyeballs that you see, like, they all glow in the dark. This was like,
that's very cool.
yeah. So as a kid, and you had mentioned on a video the other day that, like, you were going home to watch the new episode with your family.
Yep.
And I'm not caught up on current seasons. I think as far as I got was about 32, and I feel like the newer ones are hit and miss. But I mean, that is a show I watched as a kid. I watched on the Tracy Ullman Show when it was a little short, and then when it got its own show. I mean, when I started watching it, I was basically Bart's age, and now I am way older than Homer. So it's been quite a journey. But that show is important to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that my kids caught on to it, and my daughter especially. She hammered through all the seasons. She didn't care who was watching, who wasn't watching. She just ran through it, and before we knew it, we're right at the very end. But yeah, season 35. There was a couple of really good episodes. There was one phenomenal episode where it was about Marge. In the present and in the past, she was a cave woman, and she was protecting her young from a wolf. And just the artwork alone, I was like, wow, what an episode.
Cool. Well, I will check it out. All right. So I feel like that was a twofer right there because it's such a big book. So why don't you throw a few more up?
Okay, so it's DC at the moment. Detective Comics issue 400. Again, from the guy who I buy from, his name's Andrew. He's an older gentleman. He's looking to get out of the hobby. So he's at the age where he wants to get rid of everything, which is good because I'm at an age where I just want to get everything. So it's mutual. But this was one of the first ones I picked up from him. And I say this with these big grails. It's a book that you don't think you'll ever own. And then when you do, you can't believe you own it.
It's beautiful. Now, is that first appearance of Man-Bat?
Yes. Yes. I mean, there's a couple of little breaks on the spine, but other than that, he's kept this in fantastic condition. So yeah,
that's awesome.
And then so this was issue 134, and I think we all know first appearance of Darkseid. I don't know if you've read this issue or not.
I may have read it in a trade or a collection a long time ago.
So yeah, Darkseid's in this small little panel, like here at the back end of the book, in a TV, and he doesn't even look like Darkseid. He just looks like a guy in a TV. So it's a bit of a letdown, but technically it's his first appearance. So
yeah. I just saw that at a con not too long ago, and I mean, I am a Jimmy collector, and that's one that's on the list that I'm like, I may not ever have that, and that's okay.
I bought that during, like, we had a lot of lockdowns here in Melbourne. We were locked down for like 200 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, what books do I want to get? And so just order them online and just have them posted out. And yeah. Now, I've got two more that are kind of related. Do you mind if I show?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Now, you showed that Neil Adams Dead Man before.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, I know what that one is too. Beautiful.
I've read it, and just the story, the artwork, you're engrossed, and I could not stop. I loved every single thing about this book. Yeah, just wow, it floored me.
That's amazing.
Um, Very happy with that. So yeah, Strange Adventures 205. And you were mentioning the Legion before. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Legion fan, but there's one Legion member who I think is really interesting, and so I bought his first appearance. It's Ultra Boy. So
Yes.
Superboy issue 9098, and we have Ultra Boy right there. I just loved that he has three powers, but he can only use one power at a time. That's just a really fantastic concept to me.
It's
Um,
such a Silver Age type of setup, right?
yeah, yeah,
He has
um,
all the powers of Superman, but only one at a time, and that's what lets them, put him in danger in ways that they really struggled to do with Superboy and Superman.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to flex a little bit with those.
I love it. I love it. I have the Silver Age Legion Volume 1 omnibus, and that
Yeah,
that story is in there, and it is a fun one. All right. Okay, I'm still sticking with the same theme. So this one's a twofer here.
yeah,
But it's because it's only two issues and I have both issues, and again it connects. So it's the Futurama Simpsons Infinitely Secret Crossover Crisis. So this is issue 1 and then issue number 2 as well. And this was before they did the TV episodes. I mean, obviously, because Bongo's been out of business, I think, for a while.
yeah. A couple of years now.
Yeah, but these were, I mean, when I got these, they weren't too bad. And Simpsons books now, for me anyway, I feel like I mean, a random issue is $10, and
Yeah,
Futurama's way worse. Futurama is really hard to come by.
yeah. I remember I when they were ending, I especially told my local that I have to get the last issues, or even like the last few issues, because I just knew that the print run was going to be just terrible.
Hmm.
And I think Futurama actually went online for a few issues, so you
Oh, I
can't
didn't
even
know
get those.
that.
They're just not in print.
That's crazy. See,
But
I used to work at a comic book store when I was going through college, and part of my job, the thing that I hated doing the most was we would take the newsstand comics and you tore the cover off and you mailed the covers back to the company to get your credit, and then you had this book without a cover. I actually, in my filing cabinet back here in my Simpsons section in Futurama, I kept a ton of them.
yeah,
Like they're coverless, but I kept them to read them because they were great, and I just hated the fact that we were just throwing them away like that. But that's another reason they're hard to find, is if they didn't sell, they were trashed so that somebody could get credit.
yeah,
So there's just fewer of them. I wish I would have appreciated that book in its time, because I didn't. I started getting it later, and I did get the last issue of The Simpsons at a con, and I paid for it. It
yeah,
was more than I probably should have. They are hard to find, and they are a low print run.
yeah. You just tweaked a memory. I was buying Sonic the Hedgehog from Archie, but
Hmm.
not for me. I was buying it for a guy from work. His son was big on Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'd buy them and then I'd give them to this guy, and we'd change hands with money. But now I'm like, oh, I'd love to get those issues back.
Right.
And the son, he's like, oh, I still like the artwork. Can I keep on to it for a little bit longer? I'm like, you just keep it as long as you want. But if you ever want to sell it, just come knocking.
Remember your friend Martin.
Yeah. Now, look, I'll show this one first because I've already shown it, but it's Tomb of Dracula issue 1. I got it on Thursday, um, even though I've got it in the slab, and I've got it in trade, and I've got it in the black and white essential. Um, I wanted to get the original copy, so yeah,
Yeah.
there we
You don't have to apologize to me. I own 3 copies of Dazzler #1.
are. Now the next one, it's a first appearance. I'm just looking at it's 126 of Strange Tales. Now it's a twofer, two first appearance. It's the first appearance of Clea, and it's the first appearance of Dormammu.
Wow.
So this is him. This is Dormammu on the cover, and yeah, there's Doctor Strange. But yeah, Dormammu, and I have read it, and you get chills. It was
Cool,
a fun
man.
read. Even the thing and the Human Torch story, it was okay, but I bought it purely for the Doctor Strange story.
That's
Just
awesome.
just the sense of wonder and strangeness and otherworldly concepts. It blows your mind. And if I had read it as a young guy, I think I would have been a Doctor Strange fan like throughout. Yeah,
So before we show a few more books,
sure.
I don't know about just you and I, again, we have a lot of overlap, not just in, I think, our collections, but like, in our lives, we're both, I don't know how old you are, buddy. I'm 47. I have
I'm
one
43.
son. Okay. So we're both in our 40s. I've only got one kid and you have,
3.
whoa.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about all these books you read, and what I find is that I'm buried in all these books, and I'm not complaining because I love that feeling. I need to have more than I could ever read, no matter what. That's my comfort zone. But where do you find your work, your life, your reading, and then your hobby? You're doing these YouTube videos. How do you balance it all?
Yeah. So it's there's a lot to do. I like to keep myself busy, but every night, like when I'm watching the news, I'm sitting there watching news. I always fall asleep. I collapse. Um, but it's a juggle. Because the kids have soccer. My daughter, she's getting into art, which is fun because it means that when she's doing art, I can do my books, and we can do it together. Um, but yeah, it's a juggle, and I just think that, and I think you might agree that it's easier to be busy than it is to just stop and do nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and thankfully for my work, they allow me to start very early in the morning, so I can finish at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which gives me a little bit of time before I have to go pick the kids up, and so I can sit and read, or I can film something, or do some art. Um, so there's a lot of room to do what I need to do, and then there's also cooking and cleaning and all that kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, it's just you're never I never don't have anything to do, but that doesn't mean that sometimes the crippling existential dread doesn't make me sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
So, all right, when I look, I've only got a couple books left. So if you got some more you want to show, why don't you show me what you got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna count how many I got. So 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I've got 12 books left.
All right, man.
So how
Show
many do you
show
want?
off like show off 4. Give me
4.
2
Okay.
seconds. I want to look in this box here.
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So, uh, as I said, Melbourne had a lot of lockdowns. We were one of the cities that was locked down for the longest in the world during the pandemic, and so there was a book that I was been wanting to get, and I got it on eBay. And my brother and I were sharing an eBay account, and he said, "What the hell are you doing? You just spent like an exorbitant amount of money." But I bought this,
Mm,
and I'm happy I did. Yeah, Swamp Thing issue 37, first appearance of John Constantine, and I've read it, and I'm a Swamp Thing fan, and wow, it was a great read. And it was straight off the bat. He has that wit, that dark humor. Um, it's just like let's go. Um, it was just a great read.
awesome.
Now the next book, actually, I'll show you this book first. Avengers issue 8, first appearance of Kang.
Yep,
Um,
that's a big one.
this is a book, as you know, as a YouTube channel, the prices went up, down, all the
Mhm.
speculation, all that kind of stuff. Now I've got to ask you: does movie speculation, does actors credibility, does it affect your buying habits?
It has not regularly. Now
Yep.
I snagged I have the first appearance of Lobo in Omega Man 3
Yep.
or whatever it is.
Number
Um,
4. But yeah,
yeah, I grabbed that for a really, really good price right before it spiked, and I mean, it's not something that I'm not a big seller, but it's the kind of thing that, like, because of the price I got it for, and then if it spiked, if he was in a movie and people were, like, starving for it and I had a good copy and I could double my money, I'm happy to sell it and then down the line get it when the price drops again. But
yeah,
I generally don't chase books because they're, whatever that is, the cover price hot 10 or whatever, sometimes I see that and I'm like, oh, I have that book. I have that one.
yeah,
But I don't chase them. I'm not a key chaser. I'm a smalls guy, man.
yeah, yeah. On the side, I got the first appearance of Lobo, and again, I got it for a good price. But yeah, if he was in a movie and it jumped, yeah, I'd be tempted.
Hmm.
But anyhow, the next one is Star Spangled War Stories, issue 84. Now, sorry about the glare.
No, it's
Now,
okay. It's good.
this is Mademoiselle Marie, and she's one of the very first. Well, it's a war comic, obviously, and she's a French spy that's doubling as a spy for the US. And I don't know, I just I'm a big war fan, and I knew about this character, and I thought, okay, so she's a sexy French lady who knows how to fight, and I just thought DC could do something with this character and really make her like a household name. And so I wanted to get her first appearance. But even still, this book was $600.
Whoa.
That's Australian, and that
Yeah.
included. And I bought from my comic shop. And I remember my youngest son, he had some mates over, and I told him the situation. This book's going to cost me $600. Should I get it? And these kids were like 10 years old at the time, and they said, yeah, go for it, just pay the $600. I'm like, well, because you said it, I'll have to do it.
That's funny.
Now the last book in the run, I still got the others to go, but you saw this on my Instagram account.
Oh, I can't believe that.
It is
That
gorgeous.
looks that looks really good.
It's got a little chip here, but that's nothing really. It was costly. It was a costly book. I had to save up for it, but it's got the pin up inside. Uh, all the pages intact. It looks beautiful. Yeah. Again, one of those books that you get it and you get goosebumps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I get goosebumps looking at it, and I mean, I've seen plenty of copies of that are really beat up, and
Yeah.
man, that the color on that looks so good.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, there's a little bit of no, there's not even anything worth saying. It's just it's gorgeous. I was gonna say
Yeah,
there's a bit of color rub and all that, but no.
yeah,
Nah,
congratulations, man. That's a beautiful copy.
thank you very much.
All right,
All right, so
I
you
did
want to?
grab a couple more, yeah, I grabbed a couple more out of this box. I know which one I'll end with, so whenever you're ready to end, I'll show you the one. I've got
Yep.
this one I don't know anything about because I just got the number 1. So this is a Jim Starlin called Gilgamesh 2. It is a prestige format DC, like it's a I don't know. They're thick books, but it seems like it's some kind of sci-fi. And Jim Starlin does his cosmic stuff. We've got
Yeah.
a tentacle guy coming out of a temple here. So I had issue I got at a show. This guy was selling books he was literally selling books for a quarter each, but you had to buy 4. So
Yeah.
it was 4 books for $1. And he's like, I'm not doing change. I'm not doing, you find 4 books, you make it an even dollar. And he had 2, 3, and 4 of this. And I looked on my comic shop, but I really kind of, I felt like it was more than I wanted to pay what they were asking. And I ended up finding the number 1 at another show for a freaking dollar. So now I've got
Wow.
the full set and I'm going to be able to read it.
Looks
This
very
is
nice.
it looks cool. Like I actually did start reading the number 2, but then I went back. I was like, no, I want to read the whole thing. I'm going to get it. I talk about this book all the time on my channel. I freaking love Grimjack from First Comics. It's John Ostrander. It to me it has kind of Judge Dredd vibes to it.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've read any Grimjack. It is
yeah.
a
I have his first appearance.
see, and that's it. Like my lowest issue is number 2. I want the
Yeah.
Star Slayer. That's his first appearance. And I want the number 1, but I really have put a lot of the run together. If this issue is the one I'm thinking of, I mean, it was rough. He's in a prison, and it is
Yeah.
like it is like HBO's Oz in there. It was very, very visceral, but it was
Yeah.
this is just a really it's a book I picked up on accident because it was in a set of things, and when I read the issue that I had gotten, I freaking loved it, and I keep tracking them down, and it's almost always a solid read, and it seems like John Ostrander is he's on it for a long time. I think it's
Hmm.
creator owned, and I think he writes it from beginning to end, and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful looking book. I love the trade dress with the black around the borders.
Yeah, this is the 75th issue, so they did something a
Yeah.
little, a little different to make it stand out, but it is there's nothing about it that I haven't enjoyed.
Getting back real quick to Ravage. I remember reading an interview. So, John Byrne was the original artist on Ravage, and he left well before the first issue came out. And he said Stan Lee had a good concept, but it was just Grimjack in the Marvel universe. He said
Oh,
that's what they were going for. So he's like, I didn't want to do Grimjack because we already had Grimjack. Um, yeah, I remember that, and when you showed that, I just tweaked that memory.
that's funny.
So all my issues are going to fall
Well, now that you've said that, now I'm gonna end up having to read some more Ravage.
over. Now I've got 2 more lots to go.
Okay.
So I've got 4, and then I've got 4, and then I'm done.
All right.
And I'm on a bit of a run here
Okay. Wow.
for issue 8. Yeah, first appearance of Puppet Master, and got this for a good price because someone has gotten a biro and coloured in his teeth. But that didn't bother me one bit because it brought the price down, and I was like, that's cool. I can deal with that. I can deal with a bit of color rub.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to look at. Um, but yeah, so what I'm going to show off is my Fantastic Four key run. And I'm going to flip it around a little bit. So there's this issue 13. It's the first appearance of the Watcher, and these stickers are on the bag, not on the comic. First appearance of the Watcher and first appearance of Red Ghost and his super apes, and it's a really weird story.
I don't know Red Ghost and the Super Apes. That sounds awesome.
So he's just basically a guy that can mentally control these apes, and there's a big oil stain here, which brought the price down. But again, uh, I bought this from a local guy, a local comic book shop. He's 30 minutes away. He had this copy here, and then he had another copy that was like $1,000. So I thought, I'm just going to get this copy.
Yeah, man. I mean, First Watcher's awesome. That's a great
Yeah,
score.
yeah, very very happy. Now I'm toying up which one to show off first because there's. I'll show you this one, and then I'll show you the next one. But I think this is the more sought after issue. So
Wow.
yeah, so there we go. Issue 52, and because of the glare of the mylar, you can't really see, but there is a tiny little pin mark on the moon. But anyhow,
That's
excuse
awesome.
me.
First Black Panther, awesome.
Yeah, just love this. I got this in reprint. I got this in black and white. That's the only way I'm going to read it. I'm not going to actually read this physical copy, um, just because it's a bit iconic.
Very much.
But then I bought this.
Whoa.
So issue 4 of Fantastic Four. Namor's first appearance in the book. Yeah. I don't even think it's. I've taken it out of the packaging once, but it's like, you wash your hands, uh, you cut your nails, and then you make sure that everything is clean, the table's wiped down, and you're extra careful when you have it out of the bag. But I'll ask you, which do you want more?
Um, for me, it's probably Black Panther because I like him more than I like Namor.
All right, well, here you go. Just grab it. Grab
Yeah.
it. If only.
If
Um,
only.
but yeah, so that's my Fantastic Four keys.
That is all. I've read a few of those because I have some of the Marvel Masterworks, a couple of those hardcover volumes. But yeah, those are awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right. I'm gonna do two books, and then I've only got one for my last one.
Yep.
So actually, wait, you just have one more set?
I've got four more to go.
Okay. Well, I tell you
Yep.
what, you're the guest, man. I'm gonna let you end. So I'm gonna show off these next ones. So this one I had never read. This is the first two issues of Concrete,
Yep.
so from Dark Horse, and this is the first two issues reprinted together with some bonus material. I had never read this before. Um, it's awesome. Like I freaking loved it. So
Yep.
this is something I'm gonna continue trying to hunt down and read because I was blown away. I didn't know anything about it going in. I knew who Concrete was. I'd seen him on things, but this was so good. I liked the characters. The art is beautiful. It's black and white,
Yep.
and when that's good, it's good. So this was awesome. Next one, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 5. So
Ooh.
yeah, I
Cool.
whenever I can find these, whenever I can find a Mirage Turtles, you talked about having never sold a book. My biggest collecting regret in my life is that I had 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I sold them back in the 90s for a good 90s price. No
Yeah.
question, good 90s price. But now that we're here in the 2020s, I'll never replace it because I sold those books for around $400, and now the number one is thousands.
Yeah.
So big regret in selling those, but I'm still picking these up when I can. And here's a book I never sold. I've had this since I was probably 16 or 17 years old.
Yep.
I remember the convention I got it at. I will never sell it. It is one of my absolute prized possessions. This is my first issue of The Tick. So
Oh,
this can be my flex.
wow.
This
Yes.
one, it's in really good shape.
It looks
Um,
it.
it it does have spine ticks on it. It's the all black cover. It's very
Yeah.
hard to keep those off. I've not read it recently because I didn't realize how much it was technically worth now. Not that that matters to me. But I have trades of all the tick issues as well. I have 1 to 12. I don't have all first printings. There's a couple that I still need to track down first printings of, but I have the whole Ben Englund run.
Yeah.
And then I have tons of other stuff too. But this book, I wouldn't get rid of this for. I mean, I bought whatever it was, Golden Age or magazine bags. It's pretty much the only book that needs them in my
Yeah.
collection. But this thing is, I freaking love this book. Along with Flaming Carrot, this is like number one, and this is peak independent for me.
Yeah. That's really really cool. I'm a little bit jealous over here.
Okay, so I did. Okay, I was getting nervous because you had so many keys. I was like, okay, hopefully this gets him.
No, you got me. And look, I'll also say that the ability to buy these books here in Australia, it's rare. It's extremely rare. We don't have the community that the US have and Canada has, and even the UK. You guys are just up here, and Australia is like we're dealing in the in the bins, and when we find these things, it's like you've struck gold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you have a lot of gold, my friend.
Well, yeah, my bank account's a bit sad, but yeah, I'm buying what I like. Now, I was going to end on this issue, but I don't know. So this is what I bought um, from Lunch Money Comics. It's the Mask of Doctor Fu Manchu. It was a one shot, and It came out, I think, in the 40s.
I was gonna say that looks really old.
It's extremely old. And Mike, he was selling. I don't know. You watch his channel. He was talking about
Mhm.
a local guy who he was selling his books for him. This was one of the books, so
Okay.
I picked it up, and I was so happy to get it because it was a bit of a. I told you about the guy that was selling the Fantastic Four for a, like the local guy, and he was selling the Fantastic Four issue 13 for like $1,000. He has this issue. He has this issue in a slab, and he wants $1,500 for it. And I saw it, and I was tempted. And he said, "You'll never find it anywhere. It's extremely rare. You'll never find it." And so I bought it just out of spite.
There's no wrong reason to buy a book, Martin, but you might be on the edge there.
Well, I bought it because it's a controversial book. It's it's by today's standards, it's very racist.
Yeah, sure.
But that's kind of also a reason why I bought it. Because I mean, it was the 40s, so
Right.
the sensibilities were completely different. Now, getting back to superhero books.
Oh, that is one of my personal grails, friend. Awesome.
So yeah, Flash 139. First appearance of Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash, and as you can tell, there's a big chunk taken out of the cover, and so that brought the price down. And yeah, I snapped at it. I just went, yep, I want to get it. I was getting a whole lot of Flash at the time, and yeah, it's a great read. You got the science police. It's set in the future. There's just so much that a science nerd would love about this book.
And even with that tear, it still presents well because the title continues on the next page. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, yeah, it just changes from yellow to blue, so
Yeah,
it's all fine.
it's fine.
So I've got two more books to go,
Go
and
for it.
they are big books. So I apologize in advance for the flex.
Holy shit. Oh.
Yeah. So issue 359, it's in immaculate condition. Again, I bought it from my mate Andrew. He's now my mate because, yeah, you have to be friends in this game.
You have to.
But yeah, when I saw that he had this issue, and when he told me the price, I was like, "Can I bring it down a little bit?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Let's go, let's do it," and yeah, just tingles.
Again, I mean, from my perspective, that looks great. It looks like it's in really good shape.
It's in fantastic shape. There's not a thing wrong with it. My daughter did point out though that Batgirl is wearing heels, like stilettos, and she said, "How can she run with high tops or heel tops?"
I had never noticed that on that cover before.
Yeah, I was showing it to her because I like to buy these big books and I show it to my kids and they're like, whatever, yeah, okay. But then my daughter said, well, what's this thing down here? And I was like, oh yeah, there's something there. But anyhow, yeah, the $1 million debut of Batgirl. And the last big book, and again, this is from Andrew. And when I realized he had this book, this was the first one I went for. It was the most expensive book in his collection, but I think it's worth it.
Martin. Whoa.
Yeah. And yeah, when I first met him, I said, "Can you please bring this book? I want to see the condition. I just want to be in the presence of this book." And yeah, he bought this, he bought that Batgirl issue. But yeah, I saw this and I said, "Andrew, I have to buy this. This is going to be the first book I buy from you." And I said, "Let's work out a payment plan." And yeah, when he finally gave it to me, Um, yeah, look, I'm getting choked up talking about
Is it? I mean, I don't blame you.
it.
I I don't know that I've ever physically seen that book, and you're holding
Yeah,
it in your storage shed.
yeah. Well, these books they're kept at home because I don't really want to keep it in the storage shed. As secure as this place is, it's only as secure as it can be. And if I have these books in my personal possession, like in the next room, I know they're there, and so
Yeah,
this is going to stay on me for a very long while. Um, I've read it for the most part. Like it's one of those books that you want to be very careful because it's even though it's in good condition, it is still delicate. Um, but yeah, um, whew, yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
yeah.
I just love it. I just love everything about it.
You, dude, you definitely saved the best for last. These last couple blew my freaking mind.
Ah, thank you.
I am impressed with the
I,
collection.
I hope your viewers like the books. Again, I apologize for flexing, but I wanted to show off. I wanted to impress. So
Well, you impressed me, man. And yeah, so and I'm gonna I will put all the links below to Martin's to his channel, which I've been watching for a while. Everybody should watch. He is I adore you, man.
thank you,
And I'll put a link to your artwork as well in your comic book so that people can check that out. We've been going for over an hour, so
yeah.
I'm gonna stop the recording, but don't you go anywhere because I still want to hang out for a minute, okay?
No worries.
Um,
I'll say to your channel. Thank you for having me. Um, yeah, thank you.
oh, thanks for being here, Martin. You are the first person I tried to do this with as the facilitator. I've been on quite a few of these hangouts, and I thought I'm gonna try to do one. And like I said, I was like, I'm gonna try to do one with someone in another country, in a different hemisphere. I want this to be as hard as possible. But dude, it was so easy, and it was fun to hang out with you. So thank you, and anybody who made it to the end of this, my gosh, thank you so much. But I don't care if anyone watches it because I had so much fun today. All right.
Thank
So
you.
thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, go to Martin, like, and subscribe and buy something from him. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.